Hello, I'm Pastor Hilly. It is May 2024, and with a new month, we have a new cause of the month, and that is the point of this interview. Today, I get to talk to a good friend, Mr. Benjamin Powers, who is the congregational marketing. I already messed up. Ben, please introduce yourself, man.
It's all right. I often get my own title messed up. Congregational Relations Manager, basically all things churches for all of LSS. So,
Nice. And thank you for your time today. I know it's been a while since we've been able to connect and just kind of, chew the fat. So I don't think we've probably talked in about a year. So catch me up. What has the last year of LSS been like?
yeah, it's been really good. It's been really busy. And in reality, it's always that double-edged sword of when nonprofit has increased numbers, it means we're helping more folks, but also means that there's more need in the community. But in the past year, we have a new CEO, Rachel Lustig. She is from the community. She was the president and CEO of Catholic Services, Social Services here in Columbus for about 10 years or so. So really excited to have her on board, and she hit the ground running. She immediately was out in all of our different programs serving, and really brought a fresh energy to the organization. And so we have really appreciated her time. It's like right on a year coming up right now that she's been with us. But yeah, we've had a number of different kind of expansions of some of our services. One of the things at Faith Mission, we've had the health center now for a number of years, and it has become a standalone program from Faith Mission now. So it's just LSS Health Center. And the reason for that is that we have had a lot of expansion of services there, and we are in the process of doing even more. So there's a ton of street outreach that's happening. We have some different programs where various different teams of folks are going out, doing some health checks, well checks for those on the street. There's some HIV ministry going on with that. But the actual then services continue to expand at the health center. So we still have primary care and vision and dental, um, all the great things with that. But it's even leading to some remodeling around. We've expanded to be able to have some more clients and everything. So that again isn't just for Faith Mission folks. That's completely for the community. So it's a federally recognized community health center, and really excited about that, the expansion of that. We're just a couple years in with a partnership with the health center. This came out during the beginning of COVID, so it might have slid under the radar. But we have a respite center, a partnership with Ohio Health, that is specifically for individuals who are homeless, who are getting discharged from Ohio Health System, whether they had a surgery or procedure or extended stay. It's time for them to go. Their care at the hospital is done, but they don't have any place to go. So they can come to us. We have 12 beds there. We're able to provide the care. Folks are able to come in, do the therapies and different things like that. But then also we have case managers that are able to help them start the process of getting back on their feet, even before sometimes they don't even enter into Faith Mission shelter proper. We're able to get them housed directly from the respite center. So a lot of stuff going on down at Faith Mission, and every single year, I think it's February. Faith always delivers a very large amount of sneakers and shoes and just it's great every year. Highlight for me to be able to pop down there and
And
receive those. So
a special shout out. That's Alan Mittemeyer has been on
yeah,
that for years, and God bless him and the work he's doing with that. But that's one of those programs that every year the congregation knows it's happening, and we get really excited. And I always think excited people excite other people.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I tell you what, like I was just down in donation center, been a few times the last couple of weeks, but we had a situation where needed size 14 shoes, which that's the size I wear. So like when it comes down, I always kind of get a little worried, like, are we gonna have it? And I went over. It still had from February, opened a box, had some size 14, was able to take it over to Faith on Eighth Shelter and delivered that day to a client. So again, it is those are huge. They hit a need for us. It's great. It's a great thing the church does every year. So I mentioned our numbers are up across the board. Food pantries, we are the sense, and it's backed up with numbers, but the sense from staff is that it feels like we're back in 2020 when it comes to clients. We were up 23% year over year. We're coming off of and about 20% of the clients walking through the door on any given day are new to us, which is how it was back in 2020. And a lot of that is, the economy right now, but also a lot of that is we're seeing a number of folks who are immigrating into the area, into the country, and ultimately settling here in the area. And so, there's a lot of need in that regard. There's a lot of then challenges for them, barriers and hurdles, as well as for our staff. So. One of the changes, personnel change that happened. So Jen Freilich, who's been our food pantry director, she's moved over to Faith Mission as an operations director over there. But Joel Call, who many from the church will know, Joel's been around for 5-6 years at Champion. He's moved into this year into our food pantry director, and Joel's awesome, and we're so excited. And he's led the way for the food pantry with our Southside Thrive and organizations from on the South Side. So he's really helped develop that. And if anyone's been down at Champion recently, or if not, welcome to come down. We've got the community garden, raised beds are up and running behind Champion, and again, that's through the community that's been really helping with that. So overall,
Sorry.
food pantries numbers are definitely increased.
I heard you say that in terms of, I'd much rather say, you pointed out that there's a direct correlation between need and support, right? And the goal of
Yeah,
LSS is that the support of the institution is to balance out the need of the community.
absolutely.
So I'd much rather use the language when we talk about the support that you're offering,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
When we look at the volume of support,
Hmm.
and the need that's inherent in that, being back to a pre-COVID level or a 2020 level, are you all finding that the financial support with your programs has also returned? Is it in abundance, or I mean, what's that? Because I love being able, and by I should say, we at Faith love supporting LSS in its many
Yeah,
and various arms.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
we just want to make sure that you all have the fiscal foundation to offer the level of support that is needed by our community.
Yeah, no, that's a excellent question. And we early COVID numbers were just astronomical when it came to support, and that was for a lot of nonprofits around the area and the country. And obviously, as everyone became extremely aware of all of our circumstances, generosity increased significantly, and there was a natural regress to the mean, and we are aware of that. We haven't kept, I would say, we haven't kept quite at the level that we were at the beginning of that. But we are in a good position in the sense of where we were prior to COVID, overall in the number of supporters and as well as dollars. I think that one of the main challenges that we're facing right now is with choices. We unfortunately, and you might have seen recently on NBC4, they did a little spot on this. But the VOCA dollars, VOCA, VOCA dollars, which federal dollars, has been drastically cut. For the state of Ohio, it ended up being $20 million that's being cut from this year's budget. And so we have been actively, it's been going down each year, and we've been actively trying to diversify the sources and everything. But that's definitely a challenge for us. And part of that is we just finished kind of our final phase of a capital campaign, but we can't really open it because we can't hire the staff to be able to run a new wing at Choices. So and that's part of what those dollars went to. So really, that's probably the most challenging circumstance right now within the different programs, is those ongoing support dollars for Choices. But again, our numbers there, we're up 14% year over year. Right now we've got at capacity, we're smidge over capacity right now, at Choices, and which means there's right around 90 kids running around the shelter and having a safe but good time. So that's definitely one of the areas that we're always looking to expand our support for Choices. And the other kind of as an aside, Faith Mission, one of the challenges we faced, community kitchen was closed, dining hall was closed to volunteers for several months, and we also had to just make some changes through that process of coming back, and it merged some of the meal times and everything. And so there's definitely been a number of partners that we lost through COVID, whether their own church changes, who was available to cook, who, how large of a volunteer base there was anymore, and those sorts of things. So that's been probably a bigger challenge from a participation side of things, is at Faith Mission.
Nice. Well, I mean, you know that we at Faith Lutheran love being volunteers, both on site and supporting both financially and in prayer. And thank you just so much for kind of catching us up with what's going on. And I'm really excited. I find that when we talk about numbers, when we look at our cause of the month, which we do, we have 12 a year, one per month. I always see a bigger generous token of support when it's LSS month. And
we
it's because
appreciate
of
it.
that really long and beautiful relationship between our ministries. And so, man, Benjamin, thank you for what you do. Thank you for your time. Thank you for catching us up on everything.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to do it. Glad to see everybody and to be seen. And thank you again. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. We'll see you down the road.
All right, sounds good.